What is up, y'all? It's your girl, Brand New, and I'm back in the building. This time, honey, I'm back to talk about Insecure. This is season 4, and this will be episodes 3 and 4. And we'll just talk about everything that has been going on in this season thus far. But before we get to that, honey, let me give a big old nasty hand clap, honey, to my girl, Issa Rae. I love Issa Rae, honey. She started out on YouTube with her Awkward Black Girl series show. So I am just so proud of her. She's now doing movies. She's still doing this show. And I absolutely love how authentic and original and creative this show is, and I love how relatable it is. I think we all collectively love this show, and it reminds us of our 20s where we had the man, we had the best friend. I know I could relate to all of that, honey. So let's catch up, honey, with what's been going on the show. So we got Issa. She's trying to get her life back together. She's broken up with Lawrence. And I love Issa and Lawrence together, you guys. I hope they get back together, honey, because we know they got the whole Melanie and Derwin thing going on, except, honey, it is Issa and Lawrence. And I actually feel Jay Ellis, the guy that plays Lawrence, I think that he has more chemistry with Issa Rae than Lauren London, who played on The Game with him. Do you guys notice that? It just seems to be more chemistry between him and Issa. I really love them together. Issa is putting a mixer together so she can get some sponsors for her block party. So that's why she's doing all these different things. Tiffany hooks her up with Condola, who is also, honey, dating Lawrence, honey. That's messy as hell. Tiffany knew the whole time, honey, that Condola and Lawrence was dating, and she knew she was, gonna let Issa work with her. So, honey, that is messy, honey. Did y'all catch that? Did y'all feel that Tiffany was shady for that? How do y'all feel about that? The bad part about it, honey, is Condola has really been helping Issa, with this mixer and helping her to get sponsors and stuff. I think one of the sponsors is Paula J. Parker. I believe that's her name. She was on Hollywood Divas. She was Craig's girlfriend, honey. Fool, where Craig at? That girl, okay? Hoorah, hoochie mama. You ain't nothing but a hoochie mama. How you doing, girl? I really feel, you guys, all of this is just a big test for Issa to pass, especially when it comes to this whole Lawrence and Condola situation. She's working really close with Condola, but, Lawrence is her ex, and now they're dating. Girl, Issa, that just means you are quick. And I should say not quick, but you are close to receiving your blessing, honey. Because don't we got to go through hell, honey, just to get to our blessing sometime. And I really do feel like that's what's going on with Issa. And she actually said in the season, she said, I guess to Molly, she was just like, you know what, I don't have a job, I don't have a man, but hell, I'm still all right, I'm still doing good. And I think all of this is just a big test for Issa, and she's passing it, in my opinion, with flying colors, honey, okay? But on the other side of things, honey, we got Molly and Issa's friendship, honey. It is unraveling. We see in episode 2, Molly says that Issa likes all this drama with Condola and Lawrence, because why else would she continue to work with Condola knowing that she is with Lawrence, and she was with Lawrence for 5 years and been through a lot of stuff with him. So Molly feels like that's kind of messy, but no, Molly, it's just Issa putting on her big girl panties, saying, hey, I'm a grown woman. I have an ex. It is what it is. He just so happens to, be working with somebody that's helping me out on what I'm trying to do with my life. Hey, I gotta roll up my sleeves and get to work, honey, and work on my dreams. So that's what she's doing, Molly. Why Molly can't understand that, okay? We also have Molly. She's in a relationship. Well, at first she wasn't in no relationship. She's with the guy Asian Bay. And, they're having a good time until she discovers that homeboy is dating other people. And that's too much for Molly because Molly really likes him. She ends up telling him how she feels about him. And so I'm here for Molly and Asian Bay, getting closer together. But Molly feels like Asian Bay is holding back. He never wants to talk about his family. He always wants to just sit up and listen to her stories. And I'm with Molly. If I'm dating somebody that I really like, I need some transparency from you. I need some vulnerability. I need you to open up about your family and why they are the way that they are and, what's going on with that. So I'm with Molly when it comes to that. But Issa, on the other hand, honey, she feel like Molly is just nitpicking that man. Okay, she just trying to find something wrong, and that's what she always do. What do y'all think? Molly ends up telling Issa it's not like that. He really isn't opening up to me the way that he should. She even shared that with Kelly and Tiffany when they were all hanging out. And, it's kind of like nobody really believes her. And that's a bad place to be in your friendships when your other friends don't really believe what you're saying because they so used to you running men off. So that is what it is. But like I said, I am with Molly. That man needs to be sharing, his business with her if they are trying to make their relationship serious, and if they want to take it to the next level. It can only get there through transparency, honey, and vulnerability. So next, honey, we have Condola and Issa. They end up talking about how Lawrence puts mayonnaise on his French fries, and they end up joking about it to pretty much break the ice of this already uncomfortable, awkward situation, honey. Anyways, it gets back to Lawrence that Condola and Issa have been joking about him putting the mayonnaise on the fries, and he get all in his feelings, honey, like, I don't, want my woman to be discussing nothing, with my ex. I want my woman to get to know me on, on her own terms. I don't want her listening to my ex. And I agree with Lawrence, but I feel like Lawrence is going about the situation in a obvious way. Because first off, you get your opinions from your boys, and they pretty much tell him, honey, that he got to get in the middle of all of what's going on with Issa and Condola, and pretty much, he needs to get ahead of that situation and not let them talk about him, behind his back. But Lawrence, you can't control what these ladies do, and I'm sure your name is gonna come up. Okay? I'm sure your name is going to come up because they are, you are what they have in common. So I'm just saying, they was just talking about the mayonnaise and the fries. I get it, but it ain't like they was talking about what that dick do in the bed. I'm just saying. So Lawrence ends up hitting up Issa, and he ends up going by her house. And he pretty much has a conversation with her like, look, I would like for you and Condola to not discuss me, while you all are together. I want her to kind of get to know me for herself. And Issa was like, oh, yes, of course. I'm sorry, it wasn't really a big deal. We wasn't really talking bad about you, And he was like, that's cool. I understand. Later on, we see Issa hitting up Lawrence, and I'm getting a little suspicious, you all. I'm like, why they keep calling each other Lawrence and Issa? I think these two want to get back together, and honey, I am here for it. Okay, let's give Lawrence and Issa, honey, a big old nasty hand clap. Honey, just give them a big old nasty hand clap. I would like for these two to get back into a relationship. They have very good chemistry. I'm ready for Lawrence and Issa to have them babies, honey. I'm ready to see it on through, okay? But Issa ends up calling Lawrence, and she's just like, oh, well, do you want me to tell Condola, that me and you have spoken and how you don't want, me bringing you up again and this, that, and the third? And he's just like, no, you don't need to tell her, you ain't got to tell her nothing. We just came to an agreement between me and you, and you don't need to tell her nothing. Lawrence, why you lying? You ain't got to lie, Craig. You ain't got to lie. I think he lied, you guys, because he still has feelings for Issa, and he knows that if Condola finds out that they have been talking, that he ain't gonna be able to be with her no more, okay? I'm just saying. It was really funny when after they talked about that, Issa was just like, yeah, so how's everything going? And then Lawrence was like, we can hang up. That was funny. Let's talk about Miley's co-workers at her job, honey. They ain't shit. They don't want to be bothered with Miley. I would be uncomfortable, honey, working at Molly's job, but she got this one guy at her job, Torian. He seems stuck up, judgmental. He just, I don't know, you guys. He's a tight ass. He's one of those people where he thinks he's right all the time. Anyways, Molly tries to talk with him about, just random conversation, just trying to talk to him. And he cuts her off because I think she was asking him, oh, well, where are you going? I think he had mentioned he going out of town. And she was like, well, you should stay here. And he was like, I already made the reservations, and then walked off. I said, I'd be damned. I wouldn't want to work with no bald-headed man like that, honey. He is no good. I wouldn't be talking to him. If you snobby like that, honey, you can't talk to Miss Robinson, honey. You better walk on by. Later on, his punk ass Torian, they're in a meeting, honey, and somebody ended up calling on Molly and she wasn't paying attention. So anyways, there was a scene where everybody at the meeting realized she wasn't paying attention. So Torian goes to visit her after that meeting, and he ends up saying, what's the deal with you? What's going on with you? And, cause he's just like, oh, well, you always trying to be nice to me all the time. You always complimenting me. You trying to give me, you trying to make reservations and shit for my travel and shit. I was just like, just be happy somebody being nice to your black ass. Ugh. You guys, his attitude is just horrible. Throw that man away, honey. So Torian ends up telling her, you need to cut the bull, and if you got something to say to me, then, instead of just being all nice to me and stuff, you need to just come out and say what you need to say. And then Molly ends up sharing with him, I apologize for the last case that we worked on together. I wasn't being a team player. And, I understand it's going to take you some time, but I would like for us to be cool. Why this fool tells her, okay, and then just walks off. What type of shit is that? And didn't shut her damn door. Like, I wouldn't be bothered with that fool, honey. Molly, you're a better woman than me, honey. We also see a scene with Issa and Condola. It looks like they're hanging out after work, about to probably get something to eat. And we see Molly. Molly sees Issa and Condola together. And already, you guys, you could see on Molly's face, she's very territorial. She looks very jealous that Issa is with Condola. I think that that's another reason why she's against Issa working with Condola, because she notices that Issa and Condola are getting closer, and Issa is not really available to her the way that she used to be, and she kind of feels like Condola is kind of getting in the middle of that. So next we see Issa. She invites Condola to have lunch with them, and Molly is making these facial expressions, honey, where you could just tell she like, no ma'am, I need to talk to you alone. And Condola was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. So Molly and Issa end up talking, and Molly is like, what is you doing? I wanted to talk with you. I don't know her like that. I don't want to share my business with her. And you guys, all of what's going on with Molly and Issa is very normal in friendships with women. I've been there. It's just like, I feel like Molly knows that Issa is slipping away from her. She knows it, and it hurts her. Issa isn't available the way that she used to be. And I think that it's just all too much, honey, for Molly. But Issa says, I could tell her to go home, girl, if you just want to talk. Molly was like, no, don't do that. Let's just talk about what we need to talk about during Self-Care Sunday or whatever. So that's what they agreed to do. But yeah, that was just crazy. Molly did not want Condola Honey in their mix. Next, we see a scene with Molly. She tries to get Asian Bay Honey to open up about his family. I think he ended up mentioning something about his sister. And he basically refuses to open up to her. And he keeps talking about wanting to go to some damn concert. And Molly is just like, well, you could go to the concert, honey, if that's where you really want to be, honey. I'm just trying to, do more with you than just have good sex, I want a guy, that's willing to open up and be vulnerable with me. And if you're not trying to do that, then, honey, what is we doing? And like I said, I'm with Molly. But anyways, Asian Bay Honey gets an attitude, say he going to the concert. And he says, not today, honey, and tomorrow don't look good either, girl. Okay? And he basically, another thing before he left, he mentioned how he feel like Molly is just picking at him. She's never satisfied with nothing. Don't that sound familiar? Ain't that what Issa said to her about him? Well, that's what she go say. Y'all, what do y'all think about Issa messing around with TSA Bay Honey? That was a thick guy, honey. He was banging Issa's ass out. The condom, honey, ended up getting stuck inside of her, honey. I done been there, honey, okay? But anyways, while she's looking for the damn condom in the mirror, the condom comes out with a whole bunch of cum on it, honey. I was like, ugh, that is so nasty, honey. Ugh. Another thing I noticed with Issa and Molly's friendship is that Kelly knew that Molly was screwing around with Asian Babe before Issa. That's another sign, honey, that your friendship is down the tubes. When you telling other friends, honey, what you doing more than your bestie. And we both know, we all, I should say, know that Issa and Molly are the best friends of the show, okay? They the best friends, and Molly didn't even tell Issa that. So she's kind of like keeping stuff from her. We also see a scene where Issa tells Molly that she shouldn't invite him to Thanksgiving. That's something else that I noticed, honey. I was like, ooh. And Issa said that Molly shouldn't invite Andrew because, she may scare him off. It's too early. She only been dealing with him for a couple of months. And I guess I could say I agree with Issa. You can like somebody all day, but I think you should be dealing with them for a substantial amount of time before you go inviting them, honey, to your parents' house. Last but not least, honey, we see Issa and Molly taking a hike with each other, and they end up talking about Andrew, Asian Babe. Y'all know the one that Molly is with. And Molly let Issa know, we got into it the other night because I was pressing him to open up and he wouldn't open up and he stormed out and, he may not want to be bothered with me right now. And Issa was like, girl. And Molly was like, what? And Issa was like shaking her head, but she didn't want to say nothing. She was afraid to tell her friend, the truth. And Molly is just like, girl, just say it. Issa is just like, I feel like you always trying to find a problem with who you with. Like, you sure you just not looking for a problem, just because you want to have one? Like, I'm tired for you. Like, and that really struck a nerve with Molly because she's just like, damn, why you just can't be my friend and trust what I'm saying? This man is not opening up to me. So Molly tells her, no, that's not the case. I promise you that's not the case. And I think that they're having this back and forth, you all, because they both don't realize how each other is growing. Like Issa is moving forward with her career. She's not so relationship oriented anymore. She having a little fun with TSA Babe, but she's working on her career. That's what she's focused on. And I think Molly isn't used to that. And then Issa isn't used to Molly wanting more out of a man and actually knowing what she wants. Because we know Molly before, honey, was over here and was over there and was teaching Issa how to hoe. And, she was all over the place. So it's kind of like Issa doesn't really trust her. She doesn't understand that Molly is growing and changing and improving herself. So that's interesting that all of that is happening with them. So Andrew ends up calling and he apologized to Molly, for not opening up to her. And he says he's going to speak up more, going forward and let her in. It's really hard for him to allow somebody into his life like that. But, they agree and work it out, and then Molly mentioned she needed to get back to Issa because Issa was having a fight, honey, with a gnat. That damn Issa is a fool. So soon as Molly gets off the phone with Andrew, Issa is like, well, who was that? And Molly was like, oh, girl, nothing, just my job. And I was like, wow, see, that lets me know again, this friendship is unraveling. Why wouldn't you tell your good friend, okay, what is really going on with your man? And I think it's because she feels like Issa is just going to judge her and is not going to really be a real friend to her during this, time in this situation. So I understand where Molly was coming from. I've definitely been there when I stopped telling bitches all my business because, bitch, I don't want to hear no judgments from you. I don't want you, nitpicking me and not really hearing what I'm saying, and you don't really care how I feel. I think that's where Molly is at with Issa. And Issa ends up telling her about how she had to let TSA Bay go and, ain't no sits and fucking a nigga that got 2 kids and 1 on the way. And then she got to do this plan B shit. And, what is it, plan B or plan A? Y'all know that birth control. Y'all know that shit that's out. Oh, yeah, it's called plan B. It's plan B, honey. I don't know because I don't use it. So that's why I don't know. Okay. I'm not nasty like y'all. I'm just playing. So we see as Issa is going on and on, like Molly is tuning her out. The music comes on. I was like, oh shit, that's shady as hell. Issa just tuned her out because she like, I don't want to hear your bullshit and all the shit that you going through. And, you need to get your shit together. Get on my level. Get with somebody and be serious with them. Like that is what I'm getting from Molly, and like I said, Issa feels a certain way about, Molly, and Molly is definitely jealous of that relationship that Condola and Issa has. And I think that Issa can see that. And, she just doesn't understand the path that Issa is on right now with, this block party. And she had a really successful mixer. It was going to hell, honey, at first. That ghetto girl, did y'all catch that ghetto girl that kept trying to get with Issa's brother and was saying, Issa, hook me up with your brother? Issa was like, honey, he is gay. And then the girl said, my son father, he gay too. I was cracking the hell up. So realistic, so funny. I love that. Okay, so we got Lawrence and Condola. Condola is going to be having a Friendsgiving at her home. And I thought it was very weird that she didn't want to really invite Lawrence. Now, if you are on a path with this man and you really is taking this relationship seriously, then you should be inviting your man. Like, girl, what are you doing? I thought that was very weird that he had to like invite himself or ask if he could come. What did you all think about that? So next we see Lawrence, and one of the investors, I guess, has pulled out of the project at his job. They're laying people off. His job is still intact, but he fears that he will not be able to move up and grow with the company. And you all know it is very big for Lawrence to be improving, moving onward and upward in the world, because he's been a bum for so long. He don't want to go back to that. And honey, I don't blame him. His friend, honey, on the other hand, is sitting up here stunting. Okay. sitting up here buying houses he can't afford, trying to project a certain type of image. He go tell Lawrence, I'm doing what I'm doing because I got an image to maintain, honey. He's bragging about the car that he's driving and stuff, trying to impress people. I was just like, you need to quit. He tells Lawrence he need to get rid of his Jaguar that he's driving, and, he needs to do better to impress Condola. Lawrence says that Condola is not worried about those stupid things. She is with me for who I am, honey, not what I got. I know that's right. So next, honey, we see this scene with Lawrence. He walks in on Issa. She's at Condola's favorite restaurant. And I'm like, Issa, why you at Condola's spot, honey? Was you looking to run into Lawrence? What's going on, honey? See, y'all, with me, I read between the lines, okay? So anyways, they end up doing this little joke that they do where they talk about what ends up happening in movies and, different TV shows. So Condola walks in and it's really awkward and she's trying to play in on it too, honey. And it just doesn't work the same. Very awkward. And Issa, ends up dismissing herself, honey, like, well, guys, it was fun, but I'm going to get my food and I'm going to go. I got a to-go order. And then they end up calling her name out front and they like, Issa, for here. I was like, girl, you always getting caught in your lies, honey. So we see Issa grabbing her tray and staring at Lawrence, and he's embracing and hugging on Condola. And you can tell that really bothers her because Issa wants to be back with Lawrence, honey. What do I keep telling y'all? And they need to be back together. They look really good together. They have good chemistry, good timing. I'm here for it. My girl Callie, honey, needs more of a part on this show. She is so funny. Y'all need to give Callie more screen time, honey. Okay, we would like to know who she's dating. What's going on in her life? Let's pay more attention, honey, to Callie, honey. Okay? Molly is at the grocery store with Issa and they are shopping. Molly tells Issa she's still not on good terms with her father and not looking forward to seeing him at Thanksgiving. Then Issa mentions that she doesn't really want to spend Thanksgiving with her mom and her boyfriend, she ain't really embraced the man all like that, honey. Molly ends up asking Issa, are you coming over for pie, after Thanksgiving dinner? I guess that's their little thing that they do. Issa's like, yes, girl, I'm going to be there. I'm going to mess that pie up. Molly looking at her all crazy. So like I said before, Molly gets mad at the fact that Issa says that Andrew, who is Asian based, should not come to Thanksgiving. It's too early for her to be bringing him around. So, Molly gets upset with that and she gets mad with Issa. So to shoot back at Issa, she ends up mentioning, what's going on with Condola, and I still can't believe, you still cool with her being with Lawrence. Issa was like, I just ran into them the other day. Everything was positive vibes. Everything is cool. And I wonder why Issa didn't feel comfortable saying, yeah, I am bothered a little bit by it. She ends up saying that to her brother, but she doesn't say the truth to Molly. So that's very telling, you guys, that, like I said before, they're not even being honest with each other really anymore. But they both realize that they have been taking digs at each other in the grocery store, and it's not cool, and it feels uncomfortable with them. And Issa says, I feel like lately you've been coming for me, and Molly says, I feel the same way. We haven't been on the same path with each other for the past couple of months, and what are we gonna do? Are we gonna talk about it? They both agree to talk about it at Thanksgiving when they have pie. So we have Condola and Lawrence. I love that shirt that Lawrence has on. Condola shares with Lawrence that she needs to hire somebody to fix her sink. Lawrence, his ass, says that he could fix the sink. Lawrence, nothing about you says that you know how to fix sinks, honey. Okay? So at Molly's house, we see that her father has purchased her some type of iced tea drink or something. And, she still hasn't forgiven him for what he did to her mother many moons ago. But she tells him thank you. She was just about to lay off the sugar. I'm like, girl, if you don't accept that damn iced tea, So we see Issa and her brother make their way to their mom's home. But before, they could get in the house, they see the damn ambulance there. Their mom's boyfriend slipped on some gravy. It was so funny that brother, he saw that it was Stanley that was hurt because he was running because he thought it was something wrong with his mother. And once he saw it was the mother's boyfriend, he stopped running. That shit was so funny. It had me tickled. So their mother is going to be at the hospital all day with her boyfriend. And Issa and her brother look kind of relieved because they didn't want to spend time with his ass. No way. So next we see Molly talking to her mother and her brother. And they're asking Molly about the guy that she's dating. And they see that he's Asian. They're like, well, why didn't you bring him? Molly said that Issa said that, we only been together for a couple of months and, I shouldn't scare him away. And the mother basically let Molly know that you won't scare him away if you are who he wants to be with. And I felt like that was, some pretty good advice. She tells Molly to stop overthinking things, and she tells Molly that her brothers, they don't overthink nothing. The camera pans to the baby mama that's pregnant and shit. I was cracking the hell up. Oh my God, funny. And is that the other brother's baby mama with this big ass sandal on? These big ass heels, I should say. She just was cheesing. So next we see Issa and her brother. They are at a Mexican restaurant to celebrate Thanksgiving. We see Issa sends Molly a text letting her know about pie time. She's going to keep her posted because the day is so crazy. As soon as I saw Issa send Molly that text, I just got a feeling that Issa was not going to make it to pie time. And it's like, once again, their friendship is unraveling and they are canceling plans with each other. They're not as much as a priority to each other as they used to be. We are at Condola's Friendsgiving, and at the Friendsgiving, Condola basically shares that she doesn't want to get married ever again. She wants to stay far away from weddings. And we can tell that Lawrence feels a way about that by how he looked at her. But he tries to play it off, like he wasn't bothered. Yeah, right. Who is that crazy ass lady at Condola's Friendsgiving that was doing all that obnoxious laughing, honey? Anyways, honey, she ends up telling Lawrence that Condola's husband left her and she's so glad Lawrence is in Condola's life. I'm like, ooh, he left her, honey? Damn. Issa's brother shares over drinks that, he's sick of changing himself for the different partners that he has been with. We see Molly's text to Issa where Molly tells Issa, do you, girl? And you could tell that Issa felt a way about that. And like I told y'all, I already knew she was not going to come to Molly's house for pie time. I already knew it. Issa brings up to her brother that she saw Lawrence and Condola the other day, and her brother is just like, how did that go? And Issa was like, I said hello, and I kept it pushing. Issa mentions that, Lawrence looked very happy when she saw him. Her brother says, are you good? Because, honey, that would have activated me, honey. I'm a bit petty about the situation. And Issa was just like, yeah, I'm cool. I do feel a way, it does bother me a little bit, but it really bothers me that, they were together on this date and I know he was going to pay for her and he would have never did that with me. And I just feel like she's reaping all the benefits that I never, received from him. I think that Issa feels like she was down in the struggle with Lawrence and now, he's a better man for another woman and she don't like that. And honey, I feel the same way. Why warm up the slot machine, honey, just so the next fool can hit the jackpot? I'm right with you, girl. Issa ends up saying, let me shut up, because I know I don't have the right to feel like that. And I like what her brother said. He was like, you have the right to feel any way you want to feel. And I agree. Hold up, honey. Is that Masika that's at Molly's house? Anyways, honey, her brother pulled her to the side because she acting all funny towards her father. And he's just like, how long you gonna drag this out? And she like, what you talking about? And he was like, you keep acting weird to dad for what he did to mom. You acting like he did the shit to you. And, you know, he just like, girl, you need to move on and let that go. And I agree. So next we see Lawrence and Condola, and, you know, she ends up mentioning how she didn't really invite him to the Friendsgiving, and, you know, he pretty much invited himself, which I told y'all is very weird. If you see a future with this man, why wouldn't you invite him to be around your friends, you know? So I don't know, you guys, I'm not feeling Condola at all, okay? I think she just looking for some good for right now. Lawrence ends up confronting her about what one of her friends said. Basically, the girl Nikki had told Lawrence that, you know, Lawrence is just a fuck buddy. I didn't see any of that in the show. Y'all let me know if y'all saw that. But Condola was like, no, it's not like that. She was drunk. Lawrence mentions to Condola that he feels like he's learning a lot of new stuff about her, you know. He also mentions that, you know, she doesn't want a family. She was like, no, it's not that I don't want a family. I just don't want to get married again. That was just a year and a half ago. And I see what she's saying. Who the hell would want to get married, you know, after they done been divorced, you know? But you should, I mean, I guess in time you'll realize if you want to get married. But I feel like Lawrence feels like Condola is wasting his time. Okay, I think he rushed into this, you guys. Lawrence ends up asking Condola, are you still getting over your ex? Condola is confused. She's like, how did this all of a sudden become about him? She says that is over, honey. You shouldn't even be concerned about that man. Condola says, honey, if anybody should be worried about an ex, it should probably be me. You know, seeing that you and Issa, you know, y'all have this shared history, honey. Y'all done been together for 5 years. Y'all be doing, you know, these little games y'all be playing with these movies and shows and shit. And y'all also share a whole bunch of mutual friends. You know, how you think I feel about that, honey? Okay, Lawrence was not feeling that. Lawrence says it's not like that between us. I broke up with her. And Condola says because she cheated. And then Condola was like, you would still be there though if she hadn't cheated, would you? We see Lawrence do this big pause, honey, and that's because the answer is yes. He would be right back with Issa. I told y'all, they got chemistry. Okay, they got history. She was patient with him, probably a little bit too patient. But, you know, they have a lot in common. So we see Issa get ready to drop off her brother. I love their relationship. It's so funny. Instead of them telling each other they love each other, they said they hate each other. But her brother is speculating that there are some issues between her and Molly, because he's just like, what's up with y'all? And Issa was like, I just got to go to pie time. You know, it's just normal friendship shit. You know, we got to work out. So that was cute. We see Issa text Molly, is it cool if we talk another time? And, you know, already, like I said, y'all, she wasn't going to no pie time with no Molly. We see Molly get a piece of pie out for her dad. That's cute. I guess she's getting to the point where she's starting to forgive him. Then she texts Issa back, yep, that's fine, being passive aggressive, not really letting her friend know how badly, you know, she needs to talk with her. We see Lawrence clicking through all his friends' lives, which is Issa's friends. You know, Kelly, Tiffany, he's clicking through what they did for Thanksgiving with their families. We see he finally gets to Issa's live, and it shows she was at the Mexican restaurant, and she's like smiling and laughing. Then he sends a laughing emoji to her. I was like, see, I told y'all, Lawrence wants him some Issa, honey, okay? She is what he has been thinking about, honey. Okay? Y'all, I love reviewing this show. This is my show. I love that they played Maya's Case of the Ex at the end of the episode. Baby, yes, yes. All right, you guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I am your girl, Brand New, and I will check you guys out later.